Aw, squish.
Love this car. Yeah, sport utility vehicle, more like slow, useless vehicle. What is up, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Khrisstian's Customs. And today I am very excited because today is the day I finally get to test drive my 1988 Mazda 323 GTX. Now, there is quite a bit of adjustment that needs to be done to these coilovers before you're good to take it on a test drive, which I'll talk about later in the video. Right now, I want to clarify a couple things about the install video. Now, I said that you needed at least 50 millimeters of thread engagement in the lower mount, and this is true, but only for the front since it's a McPherson-style suspension. For the rear, you are good to have a minimum of 30 millimeters of thread engagement, and then you are good to go. Now, today's video is all about test driving this vehicle, talking about how I set them up, so the adjustments that I made to them to get to this point, and then also setting up the dampening for it. Now, without any further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into this video. So, we're going to go through the checklist. You mark the lower section of the coilover that engages into the lower mount. Front at 50 millimeters, rear at 30 millimeters. You take measurements of the center shaft itself. If it's at 4 inches, you need 1/3 engagement, so that's 1.3 inches. Then you set it on the ground, you move it back, and you move it forward, and you take your measurements at curb weight. Mine was at 1 inch, so I know that I had to gain 1/3 of an inch of that center shaft to be engaged into the coilovers. And I kind of tighten it down with the keys. Now, this is not locked in place. K-Sport will even tell you, do not use the keys to lock them in place. It's okay to get them snugged up, but that's not locking them down. What you need to do is you need to grab yourself a pry bar and a hammer or a really wide screwdriver, but I didn't have one. I just used a pry bar and I give it a tap and lock it in. Now, that upper ring wanted to keep on moving, and I don't have 3 arms. So what I did was I had a buddy come over and hold that upper ring with a key while I hit the lower ring with a pry bar and a hammer to lock it down. You do it for the front and the rear, then you can adjust your height. So I know that this needs to move about 3/8 of an inch down, or 9.5 millimeters. So I have my calipers right here. I'm going to mark it about 9.5 right there. I'm going to take my measurement. Need to go up a little bit higher. All right, there we go. Now I'm able to take this section and spin it into it. Now, normally I wouldn't do this until I have these 2 plates locked together. Since I have them locked together, I'm not worried about any adjustment going bad, so now I can just spin it in. All right. It's just locked itself right into place there. Now I take my pry bar and I give it a tap. There we go. That's how you set that up right there. Now I'm going to do it to the other side, lower it back to the ground, and, I don't know, quadruple check my measurements. Coilovers are rough. Now, K-Sport didn't provide enough height in the rear to have it set up exactly like it was from factory. I ended up having to go with 25 3/8 in the rear, and then I dropped the front to 25 1/4. Really not that big of a deal. Completely all right with it. I might even go lower, but again, I wanted something that was a little bit more factory for right now. So now what I'm doing is I'm driving around and I'm checking the dampening of it. Also, I'm allowing the coils to break in slightly because they will drop ever so slightly. And because of that, I'm going to end up redoing the same exact thing. I'm going to end up taking it in, seeing how much shaft is engaged into the coilover. If it's too much, which it might be because, again, I'm driving around, the coils will potentially drop down slightly. I will adjust the ring that holds the coil up a little bit, and then take my measurements again. This is not a quick process, so don't think that you're going to buy some coilovers, slap them in one day, take it to alignment, and you're done. If you do think that, then you're wrong. I'm sorry, man. It's just not that way. There is so much play that you can do with these, but you have to make sure that that center shaft has the right amount of play. If you don't, you're going to potentially damage your coilovers. You're going to void warranty, and you're just going to look silly while you do it, because K-Sport provides all the information that you need in their instructions. Now, it doesn't read all that great sometimes. You know, you're wondering, oh, well, why do I need to set up the front to 50 millimeters of thread engagement, but I want to go lower? It's so you can get your initial measurements taken care of. Then you can lower it pretty much to whatever you want. But again, just read the instructions. Make sure you are fully understanding them. If not, do some research. And if you break them, it's probably your own damn fault. If you have any questions whatsoever, I will help you to the best of my abilities. But really, reading those instructions is what's going to set you up properly. Man, I love this car. So the next episodes I put out might be having to do with the Ford F-250. But if you want to see more of this vehicle, I get it. Just message me. Tell me what you think. I do want to have my truck done, so I have a little toy hauler. But, I mean, again, I'm going to give the people what they want. So if you want to see more 323 videos, then I'm going to keep on making 323 videos. Just know that I won't have anything to go pick up projects with if it ends up breaking down. So that's it, people. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, and you'll see me next time.